Hey, my name is PolishLynx and welcome to Without Within 2. Well, it's been a while as well as previously with Wooden Floor to continue the series, but right now I'm on the hot streak with doing that basically, and let's go! Without Within 2. The first one was freaking enjoyable, and well, I hope this will be the same. Let's go! I stood in front of my bathroom mirror, staring at the result. Well, it was worth a shot, at least. Hey, when people kept going on and on about my eyes, I had to try something. Yeah, ever since I became a YouTube celebrity, I had been following the internet's opinions about me. Latest comment: what's with those eyes? Why are her eyes closed? Do her eyes ever open? Spoilers and so on. If people stopped saying things like that, I never would have become so conscious about it. Should have known. Whiteboard markers would never do the trick. Phew. I almost went with permanent too. I noticed that crack in the corner above my mirror. Yeah, it had been there for well over a year now, but I still felt as though the wall had cracked after seeing my ridiculous face. That's not true, you are beautiful. Well, time to leave and clock in another restaurant shift. Still stuck in the opening chapter of my road to calligraphy stardom. Sometimes it felt as if a troll had glued my pages shut. I locked my door before heading out. Not that I had anything worth stealing. $2.50 for that ripped sofa if anyone was interested. Haha, what's with her face? Those eyes low! Time to clock in another restaurant shift after I washed off these stain markings. Oh, a new shampoo ad featuring Excelia. I wish I could have hair as silky smooth as hers. No need to pretend you never heard of her. But I never heard of her. Even my grandma knew of Excelia, the prodigy calligrapher. Oh. I heard that in a recent calligraphy contest, Excelia's work moved one of the judges to tears. What does it mean? Oh, what does it mean? The judge murmured as she sobbed. According to rumors, she needed therapy afterward. Just by showing her face on that ad, Excelia had probably raked in more cash than I made in a year. Excelia seemed so unreachable that sometimes I wondered if she really existed. Well, I would find out for myself as soon enough. A few months ago, I had received a grant to attend Excelia's upcoming show in Melbourne, Australia. About time my luck turned around. Without the grant, I never could have afforded these plane tickets. Yeah, out of college and never been on a flight before. Leave me alone! Hey, I've never been on a flight before as well, so, you know, we are on the same boat. First, let me go and get this final restaurant shift out of the way. I wish I could spin the hands on a clock and make time go faster. Watch out, Ward! Excelia would soon meet her match. No more checking my calendar 4 times a day, for the moment had finally arrived. Today, I would be traveling overseas for the first time. Okay, I traveled outside the border of Poland twice, I think, to Czech Republic and Slovakia, and that's all. That's my outside of Poland career. Alright, were you expecting some gag where I woke up late and missed my plane? Sorry to disappoint you, but I hardly even slept last night. Maybe I could catch up on sleep during my flight, for I heard only a chosen few possess the gift of sleeping on a plane. I spent the day pacing around my living room and rolling on the bed in excitement. Heck, I did that 4 months ago when I received my grant. Anyway, for a 2-day trip, all I needed was my backpack. Heck, I had already booked the express bus tickets and would take me from Melbourne airport into the city as well. I could head to the airport nice and early, but that would make me look like a child waiting for the theme park to open. I think I would go early as well, to be honest. I would be so excited as well. Come on, this was no holiday trip. I did this all in the name of calligraphy. A lady like me had no reason to rush. After changing out of my pajamas, I left the apartment and bumped into my landlady in the hallway. I pressed my shoulder against the wall to avoid being crushed by her body. "Good morning, Miss Vinty," the landlady said. She lowered her glasses and stared at my back. "Where might you be up to?" I'm heading to Australia for a couple of days." "Australia?" With her shocked tone, you would have thought I said I was flying to Mars. The landlady softened her voice as if trying to make a kid confess he had spilled the milk. "Miss Vinty, we all love holidays, but you should never resort to crime." What? Poor people had no right to go on trips? Sure, I was 2 weeks late with my last train, but still, count me a break. "I need to go!" With a twitchy smile, I squeezed past the landlady and headed for the stairs. Gee, she had better not call the cops on me or anything. Maybe I should have told her about the grant I got. Gate 1 to 10, Gate 11 to 15. And so I turned up at the airport 8 hours before takeoff. A timely arrival befitting of a calm lady, if you ask me. Okay, I wouldn't be 8 hours early, I might be 2, but whatever. If someone offered me a job in this airport, I would gladly accept it. The staff wore uniforms grand enough for a banquet, and the aircon meant no more reeking of sweat during summer shifts. Unlike that cramped restaurant I worked in, the hallways here were wide enough to fit 1,000 Vinties. Sunlight peered in through the glass panels to my left, making the ceiling lights obsolete. Maybe I should quit my restaurant job and apply to become a flight attendant. Yeah, I could imagine the passengers' reactions now. "Look, Mommy, that girl is so pretty!" "Excuse me, hotel? Vint is your name according to the pilot. A charming name outmatched only by your beauty." The smell of fried chicken snapped me from my trance. A man strode toward me with a bucket of chicken wings in his hands. I recognized his face as well as the body odor. It was the guy who had made fun of my calligraphy twice on the streets. "Hey, you're that calligrapher girl who thinks she's hot stuff," the man said, spitting a piece of chicken onto my face. "Good thing I've already landed from my flight," he continued. "If I have to catch the same plane as you, I'd rather swim." I wish he did swim and drown, or got eaten by sharks. Just ignore him, Vinty. We really got a crazy calligrapher dubstep remix with original. This world had no need for a sequel. The troll kept eating his chicken as he walked off. Seriously, one day karma will make him choke on those bones. Just wait until I mastered all the secrets behind Excelia's success. This guy would crawl back and beg for a chance to kiss my cheeks. Not that I will let those greasy lips touch me. Seeing this troll again did, however, remind me of why I came here. I had devoted myself to the path of calligrapher. This flight attendant job I dreamed about belonged to in a different life. I shifted my attention to those planes docked behind the windows. Having only seen them in flight, I had no idea they were this big up close. To regular flyers, this might be nothing more than a bus ride, but for me, I might as well be boarding a spaceship. Once the crowd cleared, I pulled out my phone and snagged in a few photos. And now, the time had come for me to ride on one of these planes. My heart started to race from the anticipation. Nice backpack, by the way, freaking huge. As I lined up for boarding, I checked the displays over and over to make sure I was on the right flight. Landing in the wrong country would be too tragic even by Vinty standards. I thought I could score a close-up view of the plane as I boarded, but the tunnel connected me directly inside. The disappointment made me pout a little. A flight attendant stood by the entrance. With a smile like that, I almost thought she was applying for a beauty pageant. The passengers in front of me showed this lady their tickets before boarding. "Good morning, miss," the staff said when my turn came. I gave a nervous nod as I showed her my ticket. The lady beamed and pointed toward the left column of seats. "Thank you for traveling with us." "Let's see, row 32. Found it!" The passengers around me stashed their suitcases into the cabinets located above the seats. After slinging off my backpack, I reached off my cabinet handle, but they were out of my grasp. A staff came over and helped me pack away the bag. Some kid nearby chuckled at me as he climbed onto the seat to stow away his luggage. What a cheating brat! I smiled upon comforting that my chair was positioned next to the window. A must for newbie flyers, really. I took my seat and gazed out the window at the van delivering gourmet food to the neighboring planes. The glass panel was smaller than I had hoped, but it would have to do. A couple packed their suitcases into my cabinet before taking the 2 seats next to me. I swore I caught them sneering when I snapped a photo of the window view. Cool, it must be an on-flight policy to make fun of everyone who liked planes. Sorry if I had missed the memo. The passengers started to strap on their seatbelts, so I followed suit and fastened mine as well. As we moved toward the runway, I smiled at the other planes landing from the skies. This must be how excited kids felt when they browsed the toy catalogs. Cabin crew, be seated for takeoff. Seconds after the announcement, the plane engines began to roar. The plane jittered as it accelerated along the runway. Thankfully, it lasted for only a moment, as the wheels soon lifted off the ground and into the air. I had always loved looking at planes as they passed overhead. Today, I got to admire the view from the other side. The cars below looked so tiny, and so after even the trunks had shrunk into dots. After unclipping my seatbelt, I stood up to head up for the bathroom. I bumped knees with the woman beside me, and she frowned as I squirted by. The window seat did have its bad points after all. As I shuffled toward the front of the plane, I passed several rows of seats with enough leg room to satisfy even my landlady. These must be the business class chairs, or first class, or whatever they were called. I doubt I would even ever get to experience such luxury. As I passed these first class seats, I spotted a girl kneeling on the floor, stretching her arm under a chair. Her pose reminded me of a homeless person reaching for a coin in the gutter. Certainly not something I had expected to see from an upper-class snob. But then I recognized who this person was. Aside from her tiny eyes, the girl on her knees looked exactly like Excelia. She had the same blue hair, featured in those shampooettes. Her calligrapher attire seemed to belong in a different era. This had to be Excelia without a doubt. Our plane was heading for Melbourne, so it made sense. What was with the tiny eyes for? Maybe her eyes were actually photoshopped in those posters to look big? No need to be ashamed, Excelia. I understood the pain all too well. Did Excelia drop her glasses on the chair? She always had a pair on in those commercials. I heard some men got off on that. A couple of Excelia's bodyguards crouched beside her and tried to reach under the chair as well. Too bad their bulky arms had no hope of reaching under the seat. A small stature like mine might have a chance. For as I approached Excelia, her guards rose and stepped forward to block my path. Relax, I only came for the glasses. I ducked under the seat, and as I had guessed, Excelia's glasses sat on the far end. My whole body managed to fit under the chair, so I crawled in and retrieved the spectacles with ease. Should I feel proud about that? Yeah, probably not. I climbed out and offered the glass to Excelia. One of her guards snatched them from my hand instead. There you go, boss, the guard said, handing the glasses back to Excelia. What a suck-up. It was me who got them out of this mess. Well, I never expected anything in return. Anyway, why was I here again? Alright, the bathroom. There, much better. The flush sounded so strong inside the toilet, if I shifted my head too close, the force might suck me right out of the plane. Wait, why would I put my face anywhere near the bowl to begin with? I better return to my seat and catch up on some sleep. After washing my hands, I stepped out of the bathroom. When I walked past Excelia, she waved at me to come and sit next to her. I felt unworthy of the honor. Though, to be honest, seeing her tiny eyes in real life did remind me that she, too, was only human. Maybe we were, in fact, on the same level after all. And then Excelia put on her glasses. What? What? So much for us being on the same level. Excelia could put a bag of peanuts on her seat, and it would be more worthy of the chair than I. As I took the seat next to Excelia, I could smell the scent of her perfume. It must be from that same brand she always endorsed in those ads of hers. I read in a magazine that Excelia was only a year old. How could I catch her in such a short time? I would have better luck giving up and going after that flight attendant car instead. Sorry about the guards, Excelia said. Please give me a chance to thank you properly. Were those words meant for my ears? Oh god, Excelia just spoke to me. Her guards had taken seats on the adjacent side. That meant I had a chance for someone on one time with her. Most calligraphers could pray their whole lives and never have the opportunity. If I wanted to catch Excelia, I had better observe and mimic her every action. Once Excelia put her glasses back on, the air around her seemed to sparkle. If I had brought my sunnies, I would have put them on right about now. I wonder if Excelia knew how to turn these sparkles off. If not, how did she even sleep? Did she glitter while sitting on the loo as well? Okay, digging a bit too deep there. My name's Vinty, I stammered. Sure, I know you, Excelia said. I should have expected nothing less from someone who had traveled across the globe. She must have seen my works on the streets before, but to think she would actually remember. Perhaps I had some talent after all. Excelia chuckled without opening her lips. That laugh sounded like it belonged to a villain in some cheesy horror film. You're the girl from the dubs video on YouTube, Excelia said, her mouth hardly opening as she spoke. There must be one of her keys to being so elegant. Let me take some mental notes. At any rate, all hopes of Excelia respecting me just went flying out the window, or flushed down the toilet, since we were on a plane. What would you like to eat? Excelia asked. It's on me! But that'd be against the rules. My seat is actually near the back. I gripped my armrest to lift myself up and leave. Excelia grabbed my shoulder and pressed me back down. I'm frequently a flyer, so just leave it to me. With a wink, she handed me a menu from the pouch in front of her. I would rather return to my seat and avoid troubling the staff, but for now, I opened the menu for a flip-through. Pomodoro leaf con ricotta salata, pancetta del rinascimento. I had no clue what these were. To be honest, I have no idea as well. I get salata, some kind of salad, olive, pomodoro seems like tomatoes in Poland. Okay, never mind. I only knew about food court meals, 2 for $5 sushi, rice with 3 choices, that kind of thing. Perhaps I should ask Excelia for a common folk translation, but that would only highlight our differences in status. I ended up pointing at a random dish from the menu instead. A flight attendant was pouring tea for a passenger. As soon as Excelia snapped her fingers, the staff spilled his drink and scurried over to us. The passenger, with his pants drenched in tea, yelled at the attendant, but his complaints went unnoticed. Excelia told the attendant what dishes she wanted from the menu. She pronounced those names as well as I could recite my favorite brands of instant noodles. Good thing she also ordered on my behalf to save me the embarrassment. I had already forgotten the name of my own dish. Is your friend sitting in first class? The attendant asked, no doubt suggesting I would have to pay for this meal. I opened my wallet and remembered I only brought enough cash to survive for 2 days in Melbourne. Not quite enough for a single first class meal, I bet. If I sold my wallet plus helped these attendants wash the dishes, that might almost be enough to cover the cost. Excelia clapped her hands and one of the guards leaped to her attention. He handed her a silver credit card, or were they called platinum? These cards belong to a different world from mine. Hey, I had cards too, thank you very much. Just one more stamp until I scored a free water bottle from that coffee shop next door. The attendant bowed at Excelia as he accepted her card. Once he walked off, Excelia nodded her guard and he returned to his seat. Is this really okay? I asked. I might never be able to pay back. Excelia once again chuckled with pursed lips. Did she have spinach in her teeth or something? No need to worry, it's just pocket change, Excelia said. She probably had more money in her pocket than I did in my bank account. So you are a crazy calligrapher as well? Excelia asked. Crazy calligrapher, I heard it. She wanted to call me crazy calligrapher. I cursed that YouTube video with my heart and soul. With that, I pulled out my phone and showed her a snap of my latest work. I was sick when I meant this, but yeah. By sick I meant I had sneezed once while I was working. Oh, Vinty always with the excuses. My heart raced as Excelia leaned toward the display. Her perfume could probably charm just about any man. It even got me pretty good, truth be told. It's off to a good start, Excelia muttered before pulling back with a smile. To be fair, I never expected she would be moved to tears or anything. I took that blurry photo with my 3-year-old phone, after all. At least she had the courtesy to hold back her punch, leaving me with only a bloodied nose rather than a broken one. I still had a bitter taste of on my tongue though. Indeed, Excelia boasted a more impressive portfolio, but my hat must have played a part as well. If I had the same marketing power, I surely would also be noticed. Speaking of hype, Excelia could catch a cold and the news would report on it. This could be my opportunity to get a leg up, as people like to say. It felt wrong to use Excelia as a stepladder, but this might be my only chance. Do you think you could share my works on Twitter or Reddit? I asked. I had already made it big on YouTube, so I guess those two sites would be next. Excelia narrowed her eyes at me. Oh no, now I had done it. She should ban me from her event for making such a shameless request. If I apologize and return to my seat now, maybe I could still be spared from entering her blacklist. Just email me some photos, Excelia said as her smile returned. The last time I sent Excelia fan mail, she never replied, so I thought she had no time for peasants like me. Maybe she just had too much on, because in person, she was sweeter than a banana split. I thanked her over and over as I attached several photos of my works in an email on my phone. Note to self to hit that send button as soon as display landed. A chef marched up to us with a plate on each hand. After presenting the plates to Excelia and me, he pulled the lids off. The smell of fries and potatoes wafted into my nostrils and made my mouth water. Good to know wealthy people ate chips too. For my meal, it looked like I had rolled a sausage that coiled around there to resemble dog poo. Sorry, it was just the first thing that came to mind. But really, they should have just named the dish World's Tiniest Sausage. I could never understand why rich people paid so much for those tiny servings. True. As for Excelia, I thought she would have seafood or some other classy dish, but it turned out she had ordered a beef burger. I found it kind of cute actually. Excelia picked up a napkin from the plate and tied it around her neck. Phew, I was just about to use mine to blow my nose. Thank God I waited. I looped the napkin around my neck, just like Excelia did. Fake it till you make it, as people always said. I might have just taken my first step towards stardom. Excelia started to cut her burger with a knife and fork. If I cooked her a bowl of rice, would she cut the grains one by one? Rich people simply refuse to ever get their hands dirty. Determined to follow in Excelia's footsteps, I picked up my utensils. The sausage kept bouncing off my knife like a cockroach darting past a pair of slippers. I picked Excelia and realized I held my new knife and fork the wrong way around. After shifting the knife to my right hand, I managed to slide the sausage apart. As Excelia and I dined, a few people came by to snap pictures of us. It sure felt nice to be recognized. Yeah, I knew these people came for Excelia. Just let me drown in my fantasy as for a while. A male fan walked a little close with the camera, and one of Excelia's guards stood up to shoo him off. Excelia usually charged money for photos in conventions, so it made sense. When Excelia finished her meal, she tapped the napkin against her lips. I copied her right away, since this too could be part of her winning formula. Thank you for treating me. I hope I can shout you back someday, I said. Excelia waved her hands to indicate there was no need. Me shouting Excelia. Yeah, maybe to some ice cream in a convenience store. By the way, would you mind taking a picture of me? I asked, hoping I might receive a better treatment than those fans from earlier. Excelia glanced toward one of her guards, who waved a hand across his neck to indicate no. In the end, all Excelia could offer me was an apologetic smile. I considered reminding Excelia to plug my work on social media, but I had already troubled her enough, so I got up in silence and returned to my seat beside that sleeping couple. After getting a taste of first class, the chairs back here felt so cramped. If I forced some of those rich snobs to sit here, the shock might cause them to have seizures. I stared out my window at the darkened sky. The sun must have gone to sleep during my time with Excelia. I sighed, feeling disappointed that I had missed the sunset, but at least I still had the sunrise to catch tomorrow morning. Without those blinking lights on the wing, I might have thought someone had painted the window black. Riding a plane did have its boring parts after all. I might as well try and sleep, but I wanted to savor every second I had on this plane. Unlike the couple next to me, I had no idea when I would get another chance to travel. Besides, I doubted I could sleep much in this small space. Anyway, well, let me shut my eyes and try to sneak in a nap. Alright, actually let's end the episode here, because this story will be much... well, I think maybe not much longer, but it will be longer than first without within. And, well, dividing it into the parts seems like a good idea, so For now, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next episode tomorrow. Bye!